Hello. I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes now about a specific kind of critical reading that we can think of as active reading. While we might often think of reading as a passive activity where we just receive messages that writers transmit, we might more usefully consider it an active process resembling a conversation. More specifically, let's look at active reading as a way to get meaning from a text by engaging with the text. We can create this engagement by following a few specific steps by which we can participate in active critical reading. First, we can remember when we read to ask questions of what we read. As we take in what a writer says, we can ask why a reader might make a claim or how the writer came to a particular conclusion. And we can start by asking questions of this sort in our minds. We might look away from the page or screen for a moment to let ourselves think about an argument's motivation or its methods. The questions that form in our minds can guide us as we keep reading. We can apply these questions to various points in an argument to see how the argument deals with them. If the argument doesn't address the questions in our minds, we can feel justified in disregarding that argument. We can also ask our questions in writing by taking notes as we read. By writing down the questions that occur to us as we find them, we give ourselves a basis for discussing what we read. Further, the sheer physical experience of holding a pen or toggling between windows as we write down the questions and quotations that we want to remember as we keep reading can help us pay close attention to a text. By using writing as part of our process of reading, we make ourselves part of the conversation that includes the argument. Thus, the aspect of active reading helps us readers find ideas by interacting with them. As with any other conversation, we learn what we think by asking questions. And once we've formulated good questions, we can try to get answers. The answers that an argument gives or doesn't give to our questions will help us determine how seriously we want to take that argument. We figure that a good argument will be able to answer the questions that we have, and an argument that doesn't answer those questions doesn't deserve our attention as much. We can start that investigative process through reasoning along with an argument's writer. We can look closely at how an argument reaches its conclusion to see how closely the writer's reasoning or thought process matches our own. If the writer uses logos in a way that seems to make sense, then we can most easily accept the writer's argument. Our practice of active reading, through which we follow the argument's reasoning, helps us continue to develop our understanding. At the same time, we can test an argument's accuracy through research into the argument's subject. This relates to John Green's idea of lateral reading, through which we learn more about a writer's history and motivation. The research we do helps us not only test the argument's accuracy, but also the honesty of its writer as we follow sources to make sure that the writer has used them responsibly. We can look at what the writer uses to support the argument's ideas to see if that support actually exists. By doing this work, the work of active reading, we give ourselves the best chance to see an argument most clearly. Our research helps us interact equitably with what we read. And I hope this lecture will help you as you keep practicing the active critical reading this class focuses on, the more actively we read, the more accurately we can respond to the arguments we see. As you keep moving forward professionally and academically, you can keep developing your skills of active reading to help yourself succeed more and more. And as always, thank you for your time and attention.